Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel and podcast. I'm here with some messages and an energy update for obviously whenever you may be listening to this, but I do have some messages that want to be shared. Feels significant the next 2 weeks. Something new is ready to come in. There is something that is coming in, and it's showing it to me as almost this doorway to a new reality. It does feel like a doorway to a new you. New aspects of your consciousness, your mind are opening up. I do feel like some gifts are also turning on as well. Hidden information being revealed, hidden gifts are being opened and unlocked. And I'm also seeing a lot of new trying to come in, wanting to come in, a lot of abundance. It does feel like a new reality. And here's the thing is that the way in which this thing happens, it does feel quite out of the blue, the way things happen and the way that things are beginning to happen. But you have literally been preparing for this moment for a very long time. They're saying that there has been so much energy that has been building and building and building. Every step that you've taken, past actions, things that you've been through. And to be honest, this whole summer, there's been a ton of energetic upgrades, physical upgrades, life upgrades that have been taking place. Everything has really been building and preparing you for this moment. All those steps that you have taken have had an accumulated effect. And for some of you, this is also even like past life karma that is being rewarded. Like things are coming forward. And energy is really building to push you through into the new. It's time to say goodbye to an old aspect of yourself and say hello to a new one. There has been a lot of tension between the old and the new. And that tension that you maybe have been feeling is leading to an incredible amount of expansion. Sometimes you have to get so sick of your habits, of your patterns, of your people pleasing, maybe even other people like pushing you around a little bit, not physically, but like that energy of feeling like you've been poked at a little bit, like your boundaries have been tested. And here's the thing, it's not this isn't really about other people. I'm actually really getting this internal felt sense that like you can no longer play small anymore. It's that kind of feeling. There has been so much tension of old habits, old patterns, old stories, like old ways you sabotage yourself. This tension has served a purpose. It's leading to expansion. It's really building and building to push you forward into the new energy, to fully immerse yourself in this future energy. You know, sometimes you have to get so sick of your own habits, your own patterns and experiences where you finally make that change. And, you know, I'm kind of feeling like some of you who are listening to this torn up between the old and the new, and maybe you felt this a lot over the past couple months because there is, you know, it's time to fully step into this. It's time to fully immerse yourself into this energy. And I'm feeling like you may have or have had these moments, and I feel like we're in this eclipse. I think it's in a few days. It does feel like you might be having these moments where you become so done with something. It's like this, not abrupt because you've been building for this for a while. You're done with your old habits. You're done with the patterns. You're ready to break through. And it's these like patterns and habits that keep you stuck, the people pleasing. Sometimes you have to get so frustrated, or not frustrated because you don't have to. This isn't necessarily isn't happening that way. But I am getting this feeling like some of you are so done. You're so done with it. And you might have that moment where you are completely done with something that it just fully, it like puts you into this new energy. It fully immerses you into this new energy. And so I want you to really know and feel right now is like all of these upgrades, all of these things that have been building, all those actions you've taken, the things you've done, you know, the quiet things that you've gone through that nobody else sees, even those actions, those things you've done, all of it has been building and building and building, and it's really just been a preparation for you. And it has been preparing you for this now moment that you're in, for this moment, this exact moment that you're in, okay? And here's the thing, there is a huge force behind you. And as I'm saying this, I can feel them. I can feel the energy. It feels like your ancestors. It feels like your guides. It feels like your angels, even your higher self. They're right behind you. and they're pushing you through to cross this threshold, to fully step into this new energy. And I can feel their energy behind you. So if you can just sit here and feel that energy in essence, it does feel like your frequency is too big for this container. So it needs to be moved into, like, pushed through this ceiling, this energy, this breakthrough moment. I do feel like this force is moving you forward, where you can no longer be held back anymore. So either way, you are crossing this threshold, you're moving into this new energy. It's just, you can do it in a much easier, seamless way. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be gentle, but there is a huge force behind you pushing you forward, pushing you through this. A combination of really angels and your ancestor and your guides and your higher self, this energy. Oh my gosh, but it also is past actions, this past energy that has prepared you for this moment to fully step into this, to fully break through to this. There has been a lot that has been coming up to the surface, and they just want to assure you, like, this thing, this pattern, this lesson is completed. This period is completed. There's been a lot that has come up to be dissolved and released and cleansed, because it can't come with you in this new energy, right? There is a little bit of a quickening up after 822. I was getting the message that a lot of energy and codes and frequencies were beginning to land. I feel like a lot of you have been experiencing a lot of shifts and upgrades, as we all have been, but there's a lot that's beginning to land and solidify, which is freeing up energy to be able to create, to be able to move forward. It is time to evolve. I do feel like a lot of your rare abilities and energy and creativity is being awakened right now, and it is time to fully, like, cross that threshold. I do feel some things are speeding up a little bit. There's been, really interesting, when I did the Lionsgate, the 2-part Lionsgate activation series, which you can still purchase the replay. We'll put the link in the show notes. But during one of the activations, they were moving us through these significant, like, upgrades and timeline jumps. And it was a way to help integrate and solidify and recalibrate to all of these shifts that are taking place, right? There's been so many timeline shifts, even recently. I know a lot of us are feeling this, like, oh, I thought this was it, but then there's actually something greater. Like, what, this bigger vision that I have is actually available right now. And so it's really asking you to understand that there is an even higher timeline that is unlocking and opening. And I do also feel like it's that doorway to the new reality, right? It's that doorway to something new coming in. There's a lot of new stuff that wants to come in. It also is new information. There's a lot of new information, new guides coming in. So this representation of crossing the threshold, of moving away from the old into the new, it does feel like significant. It's happening within your life, but it's also happening within the spiritual realms, because you've closed down so many timelines. You've collapsed old energy, even like shooting too small for yourself. This is your time to really anchor into that higher timeline, not the what makes most sense, but fully step into this, because I'm seeing a whole new timeline opening up that I didn't see before. And you really just have to immerse yourself into that new energy of shooting higher for yourself. And here's the thing, a lot of you have made a lot of leaps, you've made a lot of changes, you've fully leaped, but you haven't fully seen the results, or whatever it may be. Here's the thing, when you make a quantum leap, when you put a request to quantum leap your life, here's the thing, you have to be able to hold that. You know what I mean? Can you anchor in that leap without doubting, without needing to doubt to go into all those old stories, right? Can you hold that quantum leap? Can you anchor into it? Can you believe in it, right? Can you trust that everything is sorting out for you? There's a lot happening behind the scenes, and you're just being asked to fully hold that energy, to anchor into the new energy, to no longer let old patterns and habits slow you down or keep you in the old. It's time to fully step into the new. And here's the thing, right now, with what's happening energetically, we have the power to really create our reality through our spoken word, okay? This is really happening. So I would be really mindful of the stories that you're telling yourself. What is that old loop that you keep repeating? What is that old story that you keep repeating that is actually expired? It's no longer there. The root of it's no longer there. And we're in a place where we are co-creating our reality, okay? You get to fully choose the bigger goal, the bigger vision that you want, right? And when you're still repeating those familiar loops, because I had a client that was kept telling the same story, and it was like an affirmation that was being repeated. Like our words become affirmations that are literally creating the reality, right? Our voice is so powerful, to a very powerful manifestation tool. And I was seeing it as this spin, this loop, this spiral that was looping forward, as in spinning it forward and recreating it into your reality when something new wants to come in, a new experience wants to come in. This new experience is likely so different than what you've been experiencing before, so much that you have to open up your mind, open up your capacity, your energetic space, your capacity to receive this thing, to become this thing, to step into this thing, for all this abundance and overflow and people and things that want to come into your life, right? But when we're stuck in overthinking, when we're replaying these loops, these stories that are just so exhausting. They're exhausting to us. They're exhausting to our guides. They're over it, right? It's no longer there. That story is no longer there, okay? And a lot has been coming up to be cleared. It's been coming up to be released because it can't come forward anymore, okay? So when you find yourself in that loop, we all have those stories that we're repeating. It's been our reality. It's been so true. We want to believe it true because we keep experiencing it. The new hasn't fully solidified yet. It's actually right in front of you. But anyways, instead of seeing that story circulate forward, right? I was seeing it as needing to reverse the spin of that story. And when we reverse the spin of it, it filters and it's funneling out the back of our energy. No longer part of it, no longer available for this story, okay? So what is that new story? Can we keep telling ourselves something new? Can we affirm this new reality that we're calling in for ourselves? Not the thing that makes most sense, not the thing that you've been experiencing, right? But something so new. Okay? We want to really be mindful of the stories that we repeat, the stories that we're telling ourselves, and really be conscious of creating the new story that you want to experience. Okay? So it is time to really hone in and harness this energy. Get focused right now. Focus your energy right now. And I have 2 messages that want to be shared before I close this down. Before I get into that, I do want to share that what you likely have been moving through lately is so much deeper and bigger than the surface. A lot of things that people have been moving through and clearing are from past lifetimes, ancestral. There's something that is clearing deep on a soul level. So what you've been moving through has been clearing out, and it's a lot deeper than what you may think it is. So just to validate that with you, because I do know that there's been some really strange dreams, weird things coming up in dreams. And if you don't have that awareness that a lot of this is past life and it's ancestral fears and experiences that are clearing out. If you've noticed old people coming in, or like people that you know from the past, there's a lot closing out in dream time, and a lot being maybe even revealed to you, but a lot of it really feels like closing it down. And when we are moving through an accelerated timeline, when we're in an accelerated energy and ascension process, there can be, because we don't have enough time in our day to close down all these old loops, some of that will happen in dream time. And so I do also want to say that yes, that can be things that are closing out old loops and timelines and energies in our dream time. But I also want to share with you that be conscious of whether you are, maybe even doing like a cleansing your energy, being mindful of what you're doing before you go to bed, and cleansing your energy and calling in higher protection around you in your dream time. If you have kids, you can do this for your kids too. I know, my daughters. So what I do is I always call in a high highest protection around her in the astral realm, around myself. I also call it in for our own home. So these are great practices that you can do before you go to bed, especially if you've been having some wonky, weird dreams. Being also conscious of what kind of content you're consuming as well. So cleansing your energy, calling in highest protection in the astral realms. I actually do feel like a lot of guides are coming in, and they have also been preparing you and teaching you new knowledge. A lot of this knowledge that's coming through, I know for myself, I've been receiving a lot of guides, a lot of contact, and start talking about this a little bit more, but a lot of contact with guides of, we'll call them guides from different realms and dimensions and universes are coming forward with some new information. So a lot of you are the ones that are preparing your energy to receive, and you have been receiving these new codes, these new information that is coming through. That is bringing through a lot of new information, and sometimes they communicate through light, and they bring through almost like a transferring of energy and information and ideas that pops up into your conscious awareness throughout your day. So you might be mindful of like being open to, you're going about your day, and then these profound and wild spiritual experiences, you get these downloads and this information starting to come in that have been almost like this energy transference of information. I do feel like we are also becoming these, walking conduits, and where, a lot of us are having pretty wild spiritual experiences in our everyday life. And there's so much that has been happening that it's almost difficult to put words to it. And if you've been noticing that, I feel like there's going to be more tangible, physical, like grounded new ideas, information that is starting to come in, because a lot is completed, right? And I feel like there is a lot of new information that is ready to come in, new ideas, new information, new ways forward, things that you have not thought about previously is starting to come in. It's starting to land, it's starting to ground. So yeah, let's get into these messages. I'm just going to share 2 messages, and you can pick 1 or 2. You might want to hear both, but let's get into it. I shared these on my Instagram, and I feel like I want to share them here as well because they do feel really important. So let's get into it. Message 1 is about being bold, okay? You have to be so bold and unapologetic right now. You have been asking for far too little, and that's why things haven't been coming. Things haven't been happening because what you're asking for, what you've been reaching for, is too small and too limiting for what you have the capacity to now hold, okay? You have the capacity to ask for something so much bigger. And again, back to the previous message, you've been preparing for this for lifetimes. Your energy, your field, your body, all these steps that you've been taking, all these upgrades and these light codes that have been coming in have been preparing you for this moment. Your life experiences have been preparing you for this moment, okay? So be bold. Ask for something bigger. You're asking for something way too small. It is time to step into the fullness, to fully immerse yourself in this bold energy and timeline and acting as if, right? That is the best thing you can do, is be bold in your desires, be bold in your claims for the universe. Be bolder, because you're asking for far too little. You need to ask for bigger things and bigger goals at this point, especially with where we're at collectively and energetically. Things are going to come in for the bold, and I will share with you, if you feel unqualified in any way, you've been through a lot of experience, you have a lot of gifts that are waking up, you know what to do. You know what I mean? I feel like you are far more ready, and you've been preparing for these moments, okay? So be bold, make those bold claims and desires, reach even higher than what you thought. Like if you feel like this is the timeline jump, what is even above that, okay? And be in that future energy and live in that future energy. You're going to collapse a lot of timelines for that, because there is an even higher timeline opening up for you. You just have to be bold enough to claim it, and you are. So be bold, be unapologetic about what you want, what you're available for, what you're not available for, okay? Message number 2 is about letting it go. You just have to let it go. Even if there's something clinging in your body, you're feeling some tension in your body, ask it to let it go. Just drop it. Imagine that I'm opening up this vortex, this portal, for you to literally just drop it, to be done with it. Because what you've been frustrated over, maybe it's resentment, maybe it's frustration, maybe it's some tension, whatever it is time to let it go. It is time to let that story go, especially with where we're going energetically, this acceleration happening. Let it go, okay? This is not going to matter in a year from now. This thing that you're bothered by, this tension, these experiences, those people, whatever it may be, does not matter. It is too small. It is too small for where you're going, okay? This is not likely going to matter in a year from now, especially in 2 years from now, right? Just let it go right now. Choose right now in this moment when you hear this message to let it go, okay? Because something new is ready to come in, and it's time to let it go. It doesn't matter. These things don't matter. You don't need this anymore. It's actually weighing heavy on your soul. It's weighing heavy on you to hold this resentment, this tension, whatever it may be. Just drop it now. Let it go. And as you do that, you will open up space for this thing to come in. Because all those things that have been pushing at you, pushing your buttons, this tension, all the things, the patterns, the lessons, the experiences, let it go. Okay? It is way too small. The things that you're clinging on to is way too small for what you need to be focusing your energy, your awareness, and your focus on right now. That is too small. That is the small things. Open up to something bigger. And it is time to move forward. Stop thinking about it. Stop weighing heavy on the experience or the situation. It's time to move forward. It's time to forgive. It's time to move forward. It's time to just let it go, to choose now in this moment, to drop it, because it doesn't matter anymore. You don't need it. You just carry the lessons, the teachings from it, carry the tools, the teachings from it, but turn it into gold. You are the alchemist. It's time to turn that thing into gold. No longer getting into it, no longer letting it get under your skin, because that is the distraction. It is time to move forward. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this energy update, and I would love to hear in the comments. Always love connecting with you guys. So I will speak to you guys in the next video, and I will be back on here a lot more. I know I've taken a little bit of a summer schedule, but I will be back on a lot more. I almost want to say welcome to your new era. Welcome to the new chapter. Something's ready to come in. It's asking you to open up, to create space, to be in this space for it to come in. You have been preparing for this moment, and you have so much energetic support that is literally pushing you through this threshold, through this energy. It's helping you it's even like your own energy is pushing you forward into this new frequency, into this expanded energy in essence. So sending you so much love, and I will talk to you in the next video.